Attention Bolt fam, the day started electric on the West Coast. A veteran is on the hot seat, a rookie is skipping steps, a position group might turn into a tactical wild card, and a familiar name is shaking up the market. No spoilers, pieces are moving behind the scenes, and the board changes with every practice. Want to know who earned snaps, who lost valuable reps, and why this shakes up the 2025 plan? Here's the tease. One decision could redefine the offense's identity. You won't believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. There's a quiet movement on the market that could reshape the running back rotation in Los Angeles, and it's brewing far from California. Scouts are whispering, executives are dialing quietly, and a steady, no-frills name is circulating as a key piece for an offense that wants to be physical and patient. While everyone's transfixed by the shine of the rookies and the headline-grabbing returns, there's a strategic opportunity forming for a team that wants to own the clock. Feel that momentum swing coming? Breathe, because the clue is clear. The market might offer a reliable starter at a bargain. The target has a starter's resume, safe hands on checkdowns, and true three-down mentality. He's not a home run on every snap, but he rarely loses yards and lives within the plan. In Washington, though, the tide turned. A 7th-round rookie, Jacoby Krosky-Merritt, blew up in training camp and pushed a veteran into the shop window. That's where the Chargers can act cold-bloodedly. If the price is right, you buy low, win big in the short term, and add depth without straying from the core project. Refeeling not available, we're talking Brian Robinson. 3 seasons of consistent production, a physical profile to punish between the tackles, and enough experience to carry the load while the youngsters find their pace. Why does that matter for the Chargers? Because the Najee Harris variable is still murky. The eye injury brought uncertainty, and even with positive signs, you can't build Plan A entirely around him. Keen Omarion Hampton is the future, but Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman envision a run-heavy attack built on volume, patience, and attrition. For that, you need a second hammer. Robinson fits as the hammer to complement Hampton without stifling the scheme's creativity. He reads inside zone well, welcomes contact, protects the ball, and helps bleed the clock when you're ahead. On 3rd and short, he reduces the risk of exposing the offensive line to unnecessary dropbacks. And here's a detail Bolt Nation cares about: pass protection. He identifies pressure, squares his shoulders, delivers the punch, and buys time for Justin Herbert to find Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, and the new tight end duo. That means longer drives, a less predictable red zone, and less hero ball in tight moments. What would it cost? Probably a mid-round pick, sweetened with snap or production conditions. Washington won't give him away, but also doesn't view him as a long-term piece. That puts the Chargers in a responsible negotiation, a clear price ceiling, zero desperation, and a focus on immediate fit. The fan base will light up. Is it worth investing in a good but not great back to stabilize the plan now, or should all the juice go into the Hampton rocket? My read: if the value's right, you lock in a high floor without stealing the rookie's development snaps. And the tactical impact: with Robinson, Harbaugh can fast-track the ground script, lean into heavy personnel, test duo, counter, and gap power, and force safeties into the box. That unlocks play action, boots, and gives Herbert clean windows over the middle. It's the good kind of predictability. You tell them what's coming, and they still can't stop it. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. If you thought the ground and pound was the only tweak, hold up. The Chargers' passing game gained a layer almost no one is talking about loud enough. While the crowd swoons over Ladd McConkey and celebrates Keenan Allen's return, the front office added Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith to give the room more juice. But the real joker might be in a different room: tight end. Tyler Conklin, a criminally underrated vet, arrives with steady production, trusted third-down hands, and a nose for the end zone. Next to him, rookie Oronde Gadsden II, a former wideout, brings route length, a frame to win through contact, and the brains to find space in traffic. The hint didn't come from rumors, it came from the field. In recent practices, Justin Herbert spread touchdowns in the red zone, and both Conklin and Gadsden popped. It's not just camp highlights, it's a trend that syncs with the system. Compare it to 2024, Will Dissly took over as TE1, and produced, sure, but inconsistencies hurt at the worst time, including tips that turned into picks in a big game. The offseason message was as clear as a snap: turn the position from patch into a competitive edge. That fits Harbaugh and Roman's philosophy perfectly. What changes on Sundays? If defenses double McConkey in the slot and give extra attention to Allen, the middle of the field opens like a freeway, with 2 TEs attacking the seam and working short angles. Opposing coordinators must either pull a linebacker out of the box or accept cascading mismatches. Conklin versus a smaller safety, Gadsden versus a nickel without length. Add the play action that comes from Omarion Hampton, and when ready, Najee Harris, forcing the second level to step step forward. When they bite, Herbert hits the window behind them. When they hang back, the run game has the numbers. The result, shorter third downs, a less predictable red zone, and less hero ball. On the whiteboard, it gets even juicier. In 12 personnel, you force base, keep the heft to run, and still threaten vertically to punish cover 3¼ In 13, in short yardage, Gadsden can align off the line, sell a block, and leak into the flat or the seam for that rhythm throw that turns into a first down. Smash, stick, and sail concepts come alive. If pressure comes, the check down turns into a weapon. Snap, play action, half roll, quick throw, chains moving. And the fan base, you can already hear the debate. Give me bombs versus give me surgical efficiency. The truth is one feeds the other. When the middle demands respect, McConkey's go route breathes, Allen's back shoulder is back, and the safeties stop toying in the box. Gadsden, a fifth-rounder, ripping off the project label. Conklin, underrated, becoming a steady pillar. For a team that wants to shorten games, protect the ball, and be lethal in the red area, that's tactical gold. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. Sometimes the fight for a roster spot isn't about how many yards you gain, it's about who's on the field when the coach needs to evaluate. That's what happened Saturday. Jim Harbaugh said with actions what many avoided saying: Nyheim Miller-Hines is falling behind in the Chargers running back race. He played on special teams, yes, but didn't get a single carry. In August, that silence in the backfield blares like an alarm. Context matters. The door opened for Miller-Hines after Najee Harris's 4th of July eye injury. It looked like the perfect chance for a veteran to get back on the map, especially after an encouraging first preseason outing. But the tide turned quickly. Against the Saints, returns turned into scares. 2 muffs, one of them gifting the ball to the opponent. For anyone fighting on the back end of the roster, special teams are resume and job interview rolled into one. Mistakes that big, at this stage, are costly. Meanwhile, the competition hit the gas. UDFA Raheem Sanders, even without big numbers against the Rams thanks to a shaky offensive line, logged more snaps, showed burst, cut vision, and crucial in this room, avoided special teams gaffes. Hassan Haskins, another name in the mix, didn't play Saturday, but carries an intangible advantage: the Michigan connection with Harbaugh, plus proven value on coverage and special teams blocking. What does it mean for roster construction? Right now, the most realistic blueprint points to a room with Omarion Hampton as RB1, Kamani Vidal bringing juice in the rotation, Sanders winning ground with youth and discipline, and Haskins taking the 4th RB hat if the staff keeps 4. When Najee Harris returns, the axe naturally falls on the last in line, and in that setup, Haskins would be first out. Notice, none of these arrangements leave a spot for Miller-Hines on the 53. Is there an honorable path? There is, and it's practical. The practice squad. Keeping the veteran around preserves experience, guards against the unexpected, and buys time to rebuild confidence in the return game. But to earn an active spot, he'd have to rewrite the narrative in the next practices: flawless ball security, visible impact on coverage units, and usefulness in pass pro when called. Because Harbaugh and Roman's 2025 blueprint depends on not gifting short fields and on protecting Justin Herbert when heat comes. The fan base feels the dilemma. On one side, affection for the veterans path. On the other, the urgency of a roster that wants to turn the page by September. My hardline take, as an unflinching defender of the project: the standard can't drop. Whoever offers the lowest error margin on special teams, blocks with aggression on third down, and secures the ball gets the nod. Sanders is capitalizing, Haskins has a defined role, and Miller-Hines, only a perfect sprint over the next few days would turn the tide. But wait, because what's next hits Justin Herbert's security on third down head on. The pass protection battle in the running back room just got a plot twist that could decide a 53-man spot. There's one piece that can redefine Justin Herbert's safety without the ball even changing hands: pass protection in the running back room. With Najee Harris out and Omarion Hampton out front, the question isn't just who runs better, it's who keeps the pocket from collapsing. Rashawn Slater's serious injury wrecked the geometry of the protection and raised the standard for whoever's behind the quarterback. In a recent practice, Kenai Mauga logged back-to-back sacks after blitz pickup breakdowns, and the alarm blared. Technical detail became priority 1. That's the board. Harbaugh and Roman want an offense that mauls on the ground, controls the clock, and punishes tired defenses with play action. For that to work without your starting left tackle, the complementary back has to be a bodyguard, not a bystander. The checklist is cold. Identify the threat, play with a low base, deliver the first punch, stay attached, and reset the hands. Do that consistently, and you earn snaps. Simple as that. Through that lens, the Vidal-Haskins-Sanders-Miller-Hines battle gets fierce. Kamani Vidal brings short area burst and balance through contact. As a runner, he sells outside zone and has that single-step cut. The issue is the mental beat in pass pro. A 1-second hesitation becomes a strip sack. With hard coaching, you can simplify rules. ID the mic, count inside out, react to late pressure, and use him on early downs, screens, and swings where his explosion turns into an extension of the run game. He's got the athletic ceiling to bring heat when the defense widens the edge. Hassan Haskins is the profile coaches trust trust on 3rd and 5, patient on the scan, humble enough to hit the right guy, and useful on special teams. The Harbaugh connection helps. He won't make headlines, but he buys time. In pony looks, he can align offset to chip the defensive end and free McConkey on the crosser before becoming the outlet in the flat. In physical games, that detail is the difference between a punt and a field goal. Raheem Sanders, the hungry UDFA, already put good tape out with 42 yards and a preseason TD, plus robust college production. The ideal fit? A hammer roll in 12 personnel with an accelerated curve in blitz pickup. If he proves protection reads, he climbs the depth chart on pure risk-reward, young energy, low cost, immediate impact. The staff loves a player who turns coaching into execution the very next day. And Miller Hines, he'd need a spotless stretch in the coming practices, 0 return errors, perfect communication with the line, and real anchor against nickel blitzes. Without that, the logical path is the practice squad, ready to elevate in an emergency. What configuration lets me sleep at night? Hampton as the pillar, Haskins handling third downs, Vidal as the early down spark, and Sanders stealing snaps when defenses are gassed. That way, Herbert gets breathing room, the playbook opens up, and the physical identity holds. And while we're buzzing over this battle, here's the question that pokes at you. What combo are you putting on the field on 3rd and 6 tie game, 2 minutes left? So that's the picture, Bolt fam. A heating market with Brian Robinson potentially shifting the backfield balance, a reborn tight end room with Conklin and Gadsden carving highways down the seam, a veteran, Miller Hines, losing ground while Sanders and Haskins gain traction, and a vital pass protection showdown that'll decide who stands next to Herbert on money downs. The message is clear: physical identity, surgical efficiency, and 0 mistakes. Now I want to hear from you. What move would you make today? Drop your take, keep it respectful, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications now.